What's up? This is Benoit Marion on episode 189 for the Athletes Podcast. Enjoy.
Before we get to this episode, let's talk about our sponsor, Rooted. If you guys haven't seen or taken it yet, it's electrolytes, it's immunity, it's hydration, it's everything you need every single day. Head on over to rooted.com. Use the code AP20 for 20% off yourselves, whether it's prenatal, women's, or men's products. They've got you covered. Let me know what you think down below as well. Don't forget about our athlete agreement. We don't charge you anything. We just ask that you hit that subscribe button. Less than 5% of you who are watching this content are subscribed. Do me a favor, please, and hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. Also, just wanted to let you guys know, we also have the ability to offer TFC and Toronto Argonauts tickets up to 30% off. If you head on over to my Instagram page, DaveStark1, you're going to have 30% off those tickets thanks to MLSE, who, by the way, let us record this interview in the Toronto Argonauts dressing room. Very grateful for what they were able to provide to us this week. Can't wait for you folks to listen to Benoit Marion's episode of the Athletes Podcast here today. Without further ado, let's get to the episode. Here we go. Benoit Marion, thank you so much for coming on the Athletes Podcast. Pumped to feature you here today on the show. Let's start here with that big rock on your hand that you were clinking around. What did that championship ring win feel like last year?
It was something really special. I mean, when you work for something really for a long time and you're dedicated, and it's just not in the pros, but your whole life you work for something great, and being able to lift that trophy with my teammates last year was really something special, and I'll really remember for the rest of my days. And this little gift with it helps a little bit. You know, it's beautiful little rock. I don't really wear it often, but definitely very proud to have won this with my teammates here in Toronto.
It's an honor to be able to chat with you on the show today. Explain what it was like last night, meeting us, coming for dinner, getting set up. Thanks to MLSE for bringing us out to the beach club, hooking us up with some nice meals. We talked about some of the people we'd featured on the podcast previously. I know you were doing a little research last night. What were your thoughts?
No, I'm just really grateful for this opportunity to come on this podcast with everybody that's been on there, and a lot of people that have great backgrounds and have lived through some experiences, and that are really special, and that you can, I think, learn from and maybe pick the brain out of everybody that goes on the pod. And for me, being invited here is really something special. And if some people can pick maybe my brain out, or just get to know who I am and the experiences that I've lived through, I mean, it's just a pleasure being here for sure, and being able to do that.
Dude, you have a roller coaster ride, to say the least.
Yes.
Little Quebec, originally born and raised. Let's start from the beginning. Hockey player growing up. Let's start. What other sports were you playing? What were your parents like getting you into those games? What was that process?
My parents were just go out there and have fun, be out the house, because I had too much energy, too excited, maybe a little bit of ADHD, and just just go out there, and we're gonna sign you up and organize sports. I think team sports. They really believed in the values of team sports, and so I didn't play a lot of individual sports. I was into soccer, baseball, hockey growing up, and I only started playing football around high school. But yeah, hockey was definitely my first sport. My parents, obviously Montreal and the province of Quebec and the whole country of Canada is huge on hockey, and so that's how I started into the sports world, into the team sports, and that was my first love. I've always loved being out on there on the ice. I've always felt free. It was a way for me to express myself, and just obviously the team sports and the opportunity that it gave me, and just going out there and competing. A reason why I really fell in love with that sport, hockey, for sure. But yeah, I touched a lot of sports. My parents were just pushing me to try different things, and I was, at one point in high school, I was doing a lot of things. I was playing for my school hockey team. I was playing for the city hockey team, and I was also playing for the football team. So I was just doing everything and trying to go to classes. But that's like a moment in my life where I was doing a lot of different sports, and I think it really helped me in my athletic ability, developing that and just being a better overall athlete.
Yeah, it's a testament to be able to be where you are today, having played all of that, probably paid dividends going through that. You can tell that competitive edge that you have. I know some people think that you're maybe like that off the field as well. We're going to break that down, showcase the softer side to Benoit. But I think one of the important things, and you touched on it, that competitive aspect, is like you've been able to go after and get whatever you wanted in life because of that attitude and because you were faced with, hey, I'm going to go in, I'm going to play hockey, do the best I can. Whether you had a crazy schedule that you shared, what was like school, then hockey, then football practice. Let's just break down kind of.
Yeah, just going to class. Well, I mean, it's nothing. I think there's a lot of other people that have done it, and just being, when you're dedicated and you love something and you just love being part of a sports team or whatever organized activity it is, and you're dedicated and you're passionate about it, it's just easy to put the hours in. And I think that's why for me it was easy. It was structure. It was camaraderie between my teammates. And just like being out there, being competitive. So I would be going to class, obviously waking up pretty early, 6, and then going to school from 8 to 4, and then going to practice, and then from 4 to 7, football practice, and then my dad would come pick me up. We'd drive an hour, go and practice in junior AAA in hockey, deep in Montreal South. So yeah, it was a lot of time management and trying to organize your schedule and your studies. But I think that really helped me later on to have those qualities of being a student athlete and just trying to manage both. And it was not always easy for me. Sports definitely helped me stay in school and keep pushing my education further and keep working hard to be eligible to play wherever sport it was, and just to get degrees and to move on to the next level and possibly have the opportunity to get drafted out of college once you play football. But that was when I made that decision to play football. But at one point it wasn't an easy decision. I thought maybe I was going to play hockey.
You're a 6'5+ centerman playing puck.
Yeah, maybe
bouncing bodies, maybe a little shorter.
Maybe 6'3", 210.
That's the ideal body.
It was, but still young, 16 years old, and then going to play in having an opportunity to go compete at the Quebec Ramparts training camp, and seeing the players that were there at the time, Kucherov and Grigorenko, I think, was there. Not Grigorenko, but some other Russian that's in the show right now. And Duclair, some great players that are playing in the NHL right now. And I saw the quality and the speed of the game, and I wasn't just quite ready for it. And then they told me, we're going to send you down to junior AAA, and just keep developing. We're going to see your progress. And yeah, and that was my last year of high school, and the minute I got cut, I went back to Montreal and I started playing football again for my high school because I could play now. I wasn't going to play in Quebec. I was going to stay in Montreal. So I played my last year, and then had to get recruited, or started to get recruited to go play CEGEP football, because in Quebec it's a little different. You're not going straight from high school to college or university. You have to go through this little prep, maybe a little junior college comparison. So it's either 2 or 3 years usually the guys do. And so it was at that point I was going to make a decision between, do I want to keep going to school, go to CEGEP, maybe continue on later to play university football, or stay in Montreal and then maybe try to grind it out the junior AAA, and then maybe go to somewhere other in Quebec, deep Quebec, and do schooling on the bus or online classes. So it was a hard decision, and at that point in junior AAA, I was kind of becoming a role guy of, you're a fourth line grinder, you're gonna have to drop the gloves every game. You're playing 3 shifts a game, like under 3 minutes. So it wasn't really the kind of hockey that I enjoyed playing.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have grinded it out, and I fought 3 times, and I got my the first time I got it given to me pretty good, and then but still a young kid trying to grind it out in that league.
19, 20 year
And
olds.
that all pretty much came into balance when I wanted to make that decision of, do I want to keep playing hockey, or do I want to go and play football at the next level? And I just fell in love with the team sport that football is, and the idea that there's so many different roles, and players have to put aside their egos to everybody try to work together. So it was a hard decision, but I think I'm really glad I stick to deciding to play football.
Yeah, I think it's worked out. Hey,
it worked
down
out.
at the championship ring. You talk about the camaraderie, the team aspect of football. That's something that I only played football in grade 10, about 6 games before I broke my wrist. That was my cue to stop playing football. But you mentioned it yesterday, and you articulated it really well around, like, it's not just the 50 players on the field playing. It's Kat Sisson selling tickets. It's Matt Black. It's Pinball Clemens.
Yeah, the medical staff, the equipment guys, just the media, everybody, all the players, the practice squad players, everybody that's involved in stepping in this building every day, trying to get better. And we see it on the wall. We have a saying right here: is 2% better every day. That's just our mindset of everybody coming in this building has to work really, really hard to get better, because we're pushing in one direction, and everybody is just in that big mix of let's get this boat going, and we want to work together to achieve something. So that's what really is a special thing about the team sports, for sure.
We talked about how special the CFL was for you growing up.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about, like, growing up, I was watching guys like Anthony Calvio, G. Simon, Travis Lulay, the heyday of actually a guy like Andrew Harris, even, who's your teammate currently still.
Yeah, definitely the GOAT. Yeah.
Yeah. What was it like having Calvio as a coach in Quebec, Montreal?
Yeah, at the University of Montreal. We didn't really we communicated, but he wasn't my coach on the day-to-day. He was on the offensive side of the ball,
right.
Coaching the quarterbacks, and I'm on the defensive side, just being in the D-line room trying to get after his quarterback. So maybe he screamed a few times at me because I got too close in practice to his quarterbacks, but no, just trying to, as when I kind of saw that maybe playing professional football was a possibility, just trying to have some conversations with him, and pick his brain about how did he live through his experience, and what worked for him and what didn't work, and what he saw in other people that worked, and how was he able to play for such a long period of time. And it was funny also because his family, his daughters, they go to the same elementary school I went to in Montreal. Yeah.
It brings up an interesting point around, like, siblings, and we had a interesting conversation over dinner last night around being older brothers and the dynamic that brings, and maybe how we were both a little hard on our on our younger brothers. Do you want to share what that transition was like for you, that mindset shift? Because I think, as the Athletes Podcast listeners take this in, whether they're watching it on YouTube, wherever, these are kind of important conversations that we don't necessarily get witness to.
No, for sure. I have a little brother, and playing football is also having 60 other little brothers or older brothers.
Yeah.
So that helped obviously shape my mind around what it is to be a good brother, good influence, a good leader, positive influence to somebody. And sometimes looking back, you see that maybe you were hard on your brother, or you were just trying to help him be the best version of himself through your eyes, but maybe it's better to let him experience his own path, and just maybe while guiding him as an older brother. I think you have to just let that sibling, I think, live his experiences, and it was it was a good conversation around that. And I think it's, again, football for me is like having 50 brothers, and that's why I kind of fell in love with it, because you can go talk to everybody, you can just have a good time, you can go have dinner, and it's 50 brothers, so.
Who've been some of your favorite teammates to play with over the years?
You talking my whole career?
Yeah, whole career, man.
Well, obviously.
Some of the best, little podium.
Yeah, obviously last year was really something special. Being my second year in the league and just winning this Grey Cup. I think my first or second year back at the University of Montreal, I think we had a great team, and I think it was 2018 or third year, and we just beat the record of the best defense ever. Nobody was scoring on us, and a lot of those leaders on that team are playing currently in the CFL and having big roles. So that was literally special, playing on that 2018 U of Montreal defense. I think we let in like 48 points in like 8 games. That was like under a touchdown a game.
Jeez.
So yeah, those were great teams. I played some hockey at some great winning teams, but I really had a hard time going all the way and finishing. So at the University of Montreal, we couldn't get past Laval, always losing to Dunsmore, which is a great matchup, but my first 3 years, we couldn't get past them. And then my last year, in 19, we go out there and we give it good to them finally in their home place in front of 20,000. And after losing all these years to them, that was really, really a special moment, winning that Dunsmore Cup over there. But you want to win the whole national championship. You just don't want to get out of Quebec. So it was hard losing that Vanier, but it's part of the game. And I think it all came full circle with this.
Yeah. One interesting part was you weren't drafted by the Argos. You were drafted by your hometown team.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Little interesting bait and switch, got you in and out quickly. What were the emotions like? Because it's a high of getting drafted.
Yeah. No, it was definitely a weird kind of experience, because that whole process for me, the combine, the draft, it was all during the first year of COVID in 2020, where everything shut down. Everything was online, or the draft was obviously, it's been online for a while in the CFL. I think the format needs to be changed.
I agree.
It's outdated.
CFL, let's fix that. Yeah. And maybe put the teams who competed for the Grey Cup as the first match of the new season.
Yeah.
We talked about that
too. Yeah, we did, definitely, to try to, spark the promotion and the marketing right away, get the fans what they want, the rematch of the last game of that previous year, the Grey Cup. I think that could be an option to help this league. But
the last time the Argos went 6-0 was in 1935.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about the CFL getting a little bit more marketing around it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think needs to change? Because obviously you guys have an incredible environment here, an amazing D-room. You got an incredible team you're putting out on the field here. How do you engage these fans? What would you say if fans are questioning whether they should come to a CFL game?
I think the CFL product, first and foremost, is so exciting, and it has so much to offer, and the talent and the level of play is really tremendous. It's really, really close to the NFL. People don't think that, but it really is. And I think the rules, the game is so exciting. It's fast, it's moving. There's a lot of good defenses, good plays, good returns. Special team play is huge, and that's I think is a huge part of football. It's really exciting, and just people love, I think, playing this game. And if fans come out and see the product, you can see local players that are actually from the area of Toronto or from Canada that are playing their butts off for this team, for this organization. And there's also tremendous players from all around the States that have been in great organizations and that bring this whole baggage and this whole wealth of experience mixing together with everybody's talent and work ethic, and I think it makes something pretty great. And I think we have an exciting team, exciting roster, and obviously, we just trying to take it 1 week at a time, just work hard and be our best on game day and come out with the W, come out 1-0, and just go on to next week and win that next game too, all the way to the end of November.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, we got bigger balls.
We got bigger balls.
Had to throw that one in there.
That's a great one. That's for sure.
Chad Kelly's got the most rushing TDs in the league right now. What is as a quarterback? Sorry, I should clarify.
Yeah.
What's it like having a 1-2 punch between him and a guy like Andrew Harris on the offensive side?
Him, AJ Willett, all our receivers, Curly Gittins, DeMonte Coxey, TDF Daniels. I mean, just the players that we have, they're really special, and I think everybody knows that, but we also know that we have to do our job every week, and we just trust that everybody's going to do their job every week coming in, and whether it's on the defensive side or on the special teams where we need a big play or a big return or get Javon Leake to the house. That's the beauty of the sport. Everybody needs to play at their best so we can win games, and when we do, it's really something special. So we have definitely a talented roster, and we just got to keep going 1 week at a time, keep working, and trying to get this big chip at the end.
Yeah, go for the repeat.
Mm-hmm.
You also are friends with a previous guest on the pod, Ben St. Just. Who you guys played with?
Yeah, I played against Ben. Yeah, for sure. No, Ben is obviously someone from Montreal that we're all very proud of, and excited for him for the opportunities that he has had and where he's at right now. And I think he does a really good job for the city of Montreal coming back with his camp and the kids. And I think he's a great influence. And no, I wasn't really close to him because we played against each other, so I was trying to beat him when we were playing collegiate football, but before he went on to go to Michigan. But yeah, I think it's great to see Canadian players, and especially guys from where I'm from, Montreal, make it to the NFL or have these opportunities, or to the CFL or whatever it is, so these kids can see that there's a possibility of playing sports and playing pro sports here in Canada or in NFL, wherever you're from,
It's important to see that representation matters, and that was actually one of the clips that we posted that did really well. Were there athletes, individuals that you looked up to growing up that you like, I want to play like them, I want to be like them?
Well, for sure, if I'm talking hockey,
I
mean, I'm talking hockey, I was a big Sidney Crosby fan for sure. Growing up, I was right up in his time too. His rise too, so that was special. If I'm talking football, defensive end play, I really like J.J. Watt. I like Max Crosby now, just players that get after it, that are really intense and, have a motor and are physical and are not afraid to get in your face and to make a play and to celebrate afterwards. So those are two players that I looked up to for sure. Obviously some greats, other D linemen that I can name that I've watched over the years. But regarding maybe mindset or the way to approach a game, obviously you can't go wrong with Kobe and Michael. Just watch probably The Last Dance like 3-4 times because I'm just so fascinated with that, his person and his mentality, and trying to maybe see if I could draw parallels with my mindset, my life. So no, for sure, those grades. My parents obviously been very big influences on me, and just pushing me to do what I wanted to do and just to work hard, but never in a toxic way, always in a positive way, and telling me the truth when things are wrong or I'm doing things wrong. So yeah, I think I was just picking a few people's brain or how they play or how they approach their sport is how I shape probably my upbringing and the athlete I am today.
You mentioned last night that every time Pinball opens his mouth, you get inspired. Is there a specific moment that you think of that puts that smile on your face?
I mean, every time he comes into a room, the room brights up for sure, and he's been an incredible ambassador for the Argos throughout the years, and what he did when he came in through the 90s and brought this team where they were, and then being a coach and being a GM and just doing everything he does for this community and this team is really special, and it's an honor to be around this man and this person, and I'm trying to learn also from him and how he approached his everyday life, and that's how I think he tries to share it with us every day. So I mean, there's been some special moments for sure. That the end of the year speech, obviously in 21 when we lost in the East Final, that was my first year here. And then obviously that had a profound impact because the next year we came back and we pretty much with a very similar roster, just tweaked a little bit and just found a way all the way at the end in November to win it all. So no, there's some great moments. I think that our coaching staff is really special. We have some great people here leading us, and just an honor for me to be out here with this team and just to work hard every day and to show up to work and to do this job that I really love. So it's definitely special to play for this organization and to be around these people and pinball and everybody else.
You talk about showing up, getting after it, going to work. We had lunch with Matt Black yesterday, who had some absolutely incredible things to say about you. He was gushing, basically, around your work ethic, the fact that you're willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done. Mm-hmm. Basically, you get called upon, you're going to do whatever it takes to win. You mentioned the community around the Argos, this team. It is special. It seems like everyone cares about each other. Mm-hmm. Kat even mentioned the fact that like you guys aren't necessarily playing for anyone else but the other guys in this D room.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think it's special just to the players that we have here around, and just to come here every day and to show up, and I think that's how I was kind of brought up through my athletic journey, is just to show up, lunch bell mentality, blue collar, and just get to work and do the extra little things. And especially when you're out there on the field, you better not ever take a play off and run to the damn ball. And effort was really a big thing for me. I think that's a big part of the reason why I'm here, because I never really stood out or got any honors, all Canadians, or went to the Canada Cup or anything like that. I just grinded it out wherever I want and got another opportunity wherever I was. And I've always been kind of on good winning teams and good winning cultures, and I think I'm a good locker room guy, and that definitely helped me, I think, understanding these locker room relationships, that they'll help you win games when you're really trusting the person next to you sitting in the next locker.
So true. I think that gets lost, and especially now with the rise of individual sports, you got guys who are more focused on their Instagram follower count or how many posts they're making that week. And I think to be able to keep that mentality day in and day out, year after year, having that experience that you've had over the years is phenomenal. What are some misconceptions about Montreal? Is it
the first one I really get often is that French people or Montreal people are mean. And I think we're definitely not mean. I think the experiences that people have had is coming in maybe in a city or in a shop or a restaurant, and then speaking in English, and then that person not understanding you, or maybe doing a certain face, and then people, the people that are foreign coming in Montreal saying, oh, they were really rude. And it's just sometimes that people don't understand that you're not trying to make an effort to speak French, because they're thinking everybody in the city of Montreal usually speaks French. Yeah. So it's odd. But I think most of the people, obviously Montreal is a very bilingual city, and that's how I grew up. Going to elementary school in English made me very bilingual. French, English, finish a sentence in French, finish a sentence in English. That we have we're eating poutine all the time, or that, obviously the nightlife's pretty good. Misconception that could be really true, but, I think people usually, there's not a lot of negative things that people, especially on this team, tell me about Montreal. So yeah, I guess I'm pretty proud to be from there for sure. But I enjoy obviously the city of Toronto. It's a great place to be and play for sure.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite city to play in, or a stadium? I'm sure that Vanier Cup was something special, but any other locations that have got your heart?
Yeah. Well, the Vanier Cup. The Vanier Cup was in Quebec City, but we were the Montreal team. We had eliminated them. Laval University, so the fans didn't really show up. So they were taking for Calgary, and Calgary ended up winning. Another stadium, obviously, playing last year the Grey Cup in that stadium. Mosaic Stadium is a really impressive stadium, and it being filled for such a big game, that was really something special. I really, really enjoyed playing in BC, even though we didn't really play good last year. You know, Vancouver and the West Coast, such a beautiful city. It was my first time being out there, you know. So no, for sure, playing. I love the environment when you play here in a BMO. It's loud, even if people don't think there's a lot of fans coming through. It's very loud. And obviously the first time I went to go play back home in Montreal, the Percival Stadium where I had grown to see the Alouettes and played there a little bit in university against McGill, but now being in it for a pro game, that was something special. And coming out with the W, obviously, against that team was obviously a special moment. So yeah, there's definitely a few stadiums. I haven't been to Winnipeg yet. We're gonna go play later this year. So that's a nice place, I heard, to play. So yeah, there's definitely some spots coming up that I'm interested in for sure. I'm excited about.
Nice place to play as a visiting team, hey? Did you end up finishing the Johnny Manziel Untold documentary, or did you watch that?
I didn't, but what I seen that I had missed was a little clip on Twitter saying, I think a lot of people saw it, maybe they didn't even see the documentary, but that clip was really standing out, saying, the zero, saying the front office of Cleveland calling his agent saying he doesn't have 0 hours of tape watched on his iPad. And then his agent goes, what do you mean 0? He must have watched something. No, there's 0 on it. He didn't watch nothing. So imagine the quarterback, and that's the first overall pick. You just gave a bunch of money. Imagine that front office when they seen that. Oh, they realized they had a big problem.
That's the leader of your team.
Yeah, he didn't stay very long, and obviously, but it's a great documentary for people to go watch.
How much film do you watch?
Explaining the rise and fall. First of all, we're in here every day watching film in the morning, and we stay later to watch more film. Then I go home and I'll probably watch another 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours, depending on the day, of more film. So it's a lot of time watching, but you know, you're watching yourself, you're watching your opponent, you're watching tendencies, you're trying to pick up on things, you're trying to watch maybe other players or other teams, what they like to do scheme-wise, or we also have access to some NFL tapes, so we can watch some great pass rushers, you know, like when I spoke before about Max Crosby. So I can go and watch him, what he does. So yeah, you're often on the iPad, just working away. But when you, like I said, when you love something, and it's just easy to open up. And I'm watching football, that's my work. It's like, it's a blessing, and it's not like a task that's hard to do. It's like, all right, let's get after it, you know. So
yeah, and that wasn't a chirp to Johnny around the 0 hours watch thing being the leader. Like, that's just, hey, part of the gig, right? And
yeah,
he's mentioned, I think you even mentioned it last night, it's like, hey, they fed the monster, right?
Oh yeah, oh definitely. No, I suggest people to go watch it because it kind of explains the whole machine that the NCAA is. Obviously now the system kind of is changing. I don't know if it's good or better with the whole NIL deals and stuff, but no, Johnny, definitely his rise was huge and his fall was probably harder and bigger. So it was something for people to maybe go reflect on and just understand maybe the life of student athletes, and especially the big stars that rise up and they play good and they win a Heisman, and then they're evaluated to go first overall, but there's a bunch of red flags, and so
there was probably a couple red flags there that Cleveland should have picked up on that Texas.
A little, yeah.
You know, win some, you lose some, right?
We can say that for sure.
The other Untold documentary that you watched that was a previous guest on the show was the Danbury Trashers.
Another wild story for sure.
What did you think of that one?
Oh, that's another one where I watched like twice because I couldn't believe that story at first. Just first of all, like an 18-year-old kid, being handed the keys to a semi-pro East Coast team, and then just building that roster up, and then the players that he had, and who was funding it, and that whole story. And obviously, I'm a big fan of hockey, and I've always also liked crime docs and stories of that nature. There's a bunch of them on Netflix, so it's like the mix of both worlds. I was like, yes, I want to watch this. So that was definitely something that I enjoyed watching, and it was a good show for sure. What did you think of it?
Dude, AJ is hilarious.
Yeah.
I think like just that whole his basically playing like NHL GM mode with a franchise. Like he's 17, 18, and I don't know, to me that's just such an incredible story to be able to tell. And despite all of the like back end how it came to be, it's like, they lived it. They're basically the mafia of Connecticut, like
the real Sopranos.
Yeah, I asked him about it. He avoided the question smoothly, put it that way.
What was crazy was his like 10th birthday party. He has like Triple H and these bunch of pro wrestlers at his birthday party. Like, I wish I could have gone to that birthday party growing up.
Right? I think it was Triple H, Dwayne Johnson was there. Who else? Like, that was crazy.
Maybe Brock Lesnar or something. I'm not really sure, but yeah, that definitely was a birthday party.
I'd turn 10 again for that. Where do you see the sport of football afterwards? Because I know we talked. This is why part of the reason why you came on here today was like your interest in media.
Sports
afterwards.
Media for sure, and I just love the game of football. I love sports. I love team sports. If it's in hockey or if it's in football, I'm really the kind of guy that wants to explore every opportunity that I can get and try things, experience things. And maybe I'm not going to like it. Maybe I'm going to like it. Maybe it's going to be easy. Maybe it's going to be hard, or maybe it's something that I shouldn't do or whatever. But if I'm not trying them, and, so that was definitely a reason why I accepted the invitation to come on the pod, and definitely want to stay in football. That's an idea that I've been wanting to do for a long time. Maybe just coach or be in sports management, or being involved in a school and running a football program or running a hockey program, running an excellence program, just giving back. So definitely coaching is something that's on the to-do list. I've touched a little bit on it when I was a free agent. I got released from the Alouettes before signing here out in Toronto. So that was a good experience for me. Just obviously I've got a background in HR and labor studies, so I can always rely on that. But like I said, I'm not someone that likes to sit in an office from 9 to 5, and I think I want to get out and meet new people. And I've also always wanted to be maybe a firefighter, work in that area. I think you can draw a lot of similarities to the game of football, to team sports, to adrenaline. It's a physical job, and there's a little bit of danger for sure. You can get hurt, and obviously there's bigger risks in that job field, but just the team aspect and everybody working together to have success, that's definitely always intrigued me. So yeah, I mean, I'm not someone to put pressure on myself towards what I know exactly that when I'm done playing, I'm doing that, but I'm starting to dig into it, and it's I think it's all about just meeting new people and just learning from their experiences and trying to shape how you want to do your things and how you want to you see things, and maybe pick from their past experiences and just learn from them.
Yeah. And we got some virtual reality firefighter training we can help you out with too.
Yeah, for sure. You got to get me on that for sure.
We'll get you through the system. The you brought up before school, bit of coaching. If you were going through the school system again, university, cégep, anything that stands out, pivotal moments that you would look back and tell yourself? Just trust the process, man. Just trust it. Joel Embiid.
Yeah, no, it's cliche, but I think that's really what worked for me. Even when I didn't really know, was I gonna play at the next level, or was I gonna even start this year, or like, I just kept working hard and kept showing up every day, and trying to get better and learn. And I think doing that, consistent little actions, daily actions, just helped me really just be where I am today, for sure.
It's something that I always like to ask, because I think I learned a lot going through university. Looking back, I'm like, maybe shouldn't have gone out as much on Thursday nights as I did. But, you got to learn those things, and you got to go through those experiences, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, it was trying to balance with school, because it wasn't always easy, and I had a hard time staying in class, concentrate for 3 hours, and then go home and do my studies. So it was trying to. So how I set my things up was every single day I would have a checklist that I would do a minimum of certain things, like I told you, consistent daily actions. So that helped me, instead of accumulating or having all these things to start to worry about. I just every day try to check things off. So whatever it was, studies, 2 hour study hall, go to the gym, watch some more film. Whatever it was to help me become the better player the next day, or better student athlete. That's, I think, how I approached it. So I think I grew up in Montreal, so obviously, I have my fun over there, and it's a great city to go out, and the nightlife and the people are very vibrant, and there's a lot going on. So, but I was always able to manage both. The social life, the school, and obviously athletics, and just keep doing little things every day to make sure that I could be in a position where I can have success and later on have better opportunities.
I think that's a key moment, and I think people should make sure they listen to that again, rewind that 15 seconds, and have that checklist set up that you have on a daily basis to make sure you're focusing on those big blocks. And I know this is also your first podcast that you've done in English.
Yeah.
So shout out to you for having the cojones to come on.
Yeah, definitely not obviously my first language, but it's a great opportunity, great experience, and I think it's just a conversation that it's with two people that love sports and love talking about experiences. So, I've done some podcasts before in French, and a little different, but I'm always up for the next challenge, for sure.
I love it. You almost went to Europe. Let's talk about that before we wrap up.
Yeah, I was exploring all options, man, for sure. And it was hard, because obviously getting drafted in 2020 in the CFL season got canceled. So as a rookie right there, you're not playing, you don't have no contract, you don't have no salary. Nobody got paid, but still, you don't have no film. Then the year after that, it was a crowded training camp, and when you're a rookie, usually you're expendable, especially when these rosters are set. It's hard to make it. You have to be in the right situation and really, have a great camp and have the opportunity to maybe squeeze a roster spot on special teams. And I think that the players, the core that was there at that time was solid, and I got the axe, unfortunately, which is the reality of professional sports. But then it's, so what do we do next? Am I going to another team right away? Which what I thought, I had a team that was interested in me, and they said, we're going to bring you in next week. Then it came to, Wednesday, we're going to call you should come in. Friday, ended up never signing a deal with them. So just that was definitely like a mental process of, trying to stay at it, even if you got drafted but you didn't make it, you got cut, now you're trying to play in the league but you're not there. It's obviously a whole episode of grinding, staying active, working out. And like I said before, I went to coaching, so that really helped me stay in the game, see the game of football from a different aspect, a different point of view, and just being able to do that helped me, I think, be ready for my next opportunity. But I didn't know when that was, and at that moment I was trying to look, and there's this whole platform online where you can try to get recruited or try to send your film to teams in Europe, pro teams in Europe, where you got decent living wages and maybe house expense, and a car or a bike train, a bike cart or something like that. So obviously it's not the same level here, but it's an experience of traveling over there. So I was maybe preparing my mind to go there, and obviously it didn't go there. So it was definitely something special, and I was pretty glad when I got the call to come here in Toronto and finish the 21 season, and then coming back in 22, and then going through that whole year and finishing with the ring, and then just being back here in 23 and trying to do the same thing again.
I love it. What's the tat on the left arm there?
Yeah, so I got a bunch of tat. Usually I started mostly on my legs. I got this little 3-2-1 because I think it represents a few things. First, it obviously my what I do every day is I put in the work, and that's how kind of my mindset was. You're gonna go every day. Doesn't matter what it is. It's a countdown. Just go and put in the work. But it originally came from the relationship I had with my mom. I'm really close with my mom, and she studied psychology at McGill. And so I was really like not a problem child, but it was I was active, and my mom had to do some certain techniques or ways to help me calm down or help me get back, and there was these countdowns certainly helped when I was growing up. So it was kind of a little wing to my relationship with my mom. But yeah, definitely I love tattoos. I love art. I like people expressing themselves in different ways, and I think football is definitely art, and it's a way to express yourself.
So true. I don't necessarily always think of it that way, and it's a good reminder to keep it that mindset. Benoit, as someone who's listened to episodes of the podcast, the way we wrap up every show is we ask our guest what their biggest piece of advice would be for the next gen. And I know you've dropped tons of gems. Yeah. And I sincerely appreciate your time here over the past couple of days, touring us around Toronto, getting us out for dinner. Do you have anything you want to leave our audience with?
Man, I just want to say that, everybody can achieve their goals. And for me, nobody really believed ever in me except myself, I think, and my parents. And nobody really thought I was going to be like a pro athlete playing football. And when I started, and I just worked really hard every single day doing the little things that could help me, get to this level. So that's, I think, what I would say is just believe in yourself and set the bar high. It's cliche, but that's the only way you can achieve what you want, and work at it every single day. Be consistent and just enjoy the process, enjoy the ride. And I think when you have fun and you do all those things, it's a good recipe for success.
I appreciate your time, Benoit. Thanks so much.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
That's it. That's the pod. We're hanging out in California for a couple weeks also, so if there's any athletes down here, we got 3 podcasts lined up, but we're always open to chat more. Let us know if you're around. Thank you, folks, for tuning into this episode of the Athletes Podcast. Big shout out goes to Benoit and MLSE for putting this together for us. We can't thank them enough. Also, don't forget about our athlete agreement. Hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you tuning in, sticking around for the entire episode. And as always, big thanks to our sponsor, Rooted. Head on over to rooted.com. Use the code AP20 for 20% off. Thanks so much again for tuning in. We hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next week.